President Trump said that America would never be a socialist country. My name's Conrad Allen. I'd like to tell you why that resonates with me so much. My dad joined the Army when he was 16. He forged his birth certificate. Next thing he knew, he was part of the Red Ball Express and the Battle of the Bulge as it raged in Europe. The Red Ball Express followed Patton across Europe, bringing supplies from the Normandy coast. Dad, he saw action and was wounded. When the Korean War came along, Dad went over there for that too, and he was wounded again. Dad picked up smoking Lucky Strikes while he's in the Army, and he smoked them as long as I can remember. And I think a lot of people will remember when he taught high school in Norwalk, Ohio, that he was always smoking Lucky Strikes. Sadly, that habit caught up with him, and he was diagnosed with lung cancer right there at the VA hospital in Houston. I remember seeing the chest x-ray, and his chest was just full of shrapnel. And the doctor said, Mr. Allen, you lived a life in pain, didn't you? And Dad just kind of shook his head. And I remember, as long as I've known Dad, he was always in pain. On the ride home, he was telling me about the war a little bit, and he said something that I'd never forget. He said, son, socialists are always America's enemy. Sometimes we gotta shoot them in the face. Yeah, I was just like, oh, geez, Dad. I was just taken aback because, Dad never talked like that. He never really talked about the war much, but, I could see his scars. I knew he's in pain most of his life. And, he was just really passing along the grave danger that he thought we'd face. He knew he was dying, and he wanted me to understand. It's socialism kills. Of course, I was used to that kind of language. I was a soldier at one time, and we used to train shooting at socialist and communist targets, and it was common, shoot socialists in the face. That's it was Cold War time. That's the way we trained. I've been blessed with the opportunity to travel around the world a little bit, see the destruction that socialism has caused. And, I remember a trip to Ethiopia I took. And, I took the kids to the Red Terror Museum, to see what the Dirge did, with the bones. And it's really an awful thing. And, they had a conference room there, and me and the girls, we just sat there, and I lectured for 2 hours on, the economics and, the politics of the region and the history. And, it was quite an experience for them. And, they were at a Miss Porter school, and they, pretty liberal there. And when the girls went back, they really embraced conservatism, really embraced capitalism, and it made them a bit of an outcast, being a Christian conservative at such a liberal boarding school. Jackie O was at that boarding school, and I don't think she'd recognize it today. And I'm just really happy with my daughters because, in the same way that Dad was able to pass on the grave danger of socialism, uh, you can just look in my kids' face, and you can tell that they understand too. When President Trump said America will never be a socialist country, that just really resonated with me. It was like that day I rode from the Houston VA home with my dying dad. I could hear his voice and President Trump's sentiment. It's just meaningful. And we're up to the task. Uh, America will never be a socialist country. So help me God.